Ray. Thank you, Ray. We always have a little jazz in the house because we have these musicians that are so fantastic. And I want to share with you today that we have some very special guests in the house. These two folks, I met both of them at Unity Village when I was in ministerial school. And I shared with you that I actually met Reverend Linda Martella Whitsett before I even applied to become a minister. And I don't know if Linda knows this story, but I was at the village as the chairwoman of the board of the church I attended to witness my own minister becoming an ordained Unity minister. And during this timeline, I had a little bit of time to eat a meal, and I was all by myself, and Linda came to the table, or I came to her table, and I sat down with her, and she started telling me about this education program online to become the minister. And in my mind, Unity invited you to come live at the village for 2 years to become a minister, and that all changed. The village entered the 21st century in the age of technology. So Linda was chatting with me and telling me all this stuff, and then she got really still and really quiet, and she said, I don't know why I'm telling you this. I'm the new vice president of Silent Unity. So in telling me that, it was a spark. I was already downloading what I didn't know was my future to come, but by spending time with her and her energy in a message that I will call a calling, it exactly turned into that. So you have been incredibly influential in my life before you even knew it, and I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. So Linda is our vice president of Silent Unity, and she spent all weekend, well, a big chunk of yesterday with our prayer chaplain team in helping us go to the next level in our prayer practice. If you are a current prayer chaplain, whether you're a Unity of Palm Harbor prayer chaplain or someone who visited with us, would you please stand up? And anybody going through the training, would you please stand up? These are the folks who hold the consciousness for us here at Unity of Palm Harbor. These are the folks who pray with you individually. These are the folks who make wellness calls once a month. And to show you the commitment that they have in holding the highest and the best for you. And then we take that energy out into the world. And I do want to say thank you to the folks who came visiting. We had Unity of Port Richey here. We had Unity of Citrus County here. And we had Unity of North Tampa here. So Unity is a family. We are a movement of making each other better by coming together and then bringing that into our communities. So it was a rich, rich day. Now I'm going to tout a little bit about Giles. So when I was at Unity Village, and the first time I met Giles, I did not know he was married to Reverend Linda. All I knew is at the end of a long day of ministerial studies, we would go to the front desk at the hotel, a couple of the ministers, students, and I, and we would talk to this wonderful man of wisdom. This man of calm and peace, as we went through this stressful day of trying to be all that and then some. And all we wanted to do is walk by the fountains and release the whole day. And he would walk with us to where fruited water, cucumber water, something going on. We had a little replenishment. We might pour some of our ministerial student woes onto him. And he just held that high watch for us. So Giles, you're very special in my heart. And I'm so grateful that Linda said, would you like him to come play the guitar? Are you kidding me? Y'all wait till you hear him. So a round for Giles as well. And with that being said, I'd like to wave to all of our people online. I hope you enjoyed the service with us today. You are in our hearts. We are so grateful for your presence. And then just a little reminder to the congregation, December 5th, right after service, we're going to have a congregational meeting. We are discussing how it's going to look in the future to hold our children in a safe, sacred space that is healthy, happy, and whole. And we're going to look at the future, how we are going to gather because some of us are really missing our social time together. And yesterday we had the great fun pleasure of being out under, as I've been told, the carport. And we had a great time. Where's Johnson? Will you raise your hand? This was one of our chefs galore. Thank you very much. Yes. I want to do a little shout out to Terry Fortner. I did her lentil soup recipe and it's all gone. So I guess it worked really well. So we love Terry. We say thank you for that. And, Linda will be available after service to sign books. So we have a special on the books. She brought the Divine Audacity ones. We have her How to Pray Without Talking to God. And we have her new book, which was written, co-authored with her daughter. So lots of great things to come, but if you want to pick up a book and you'd like her to sign it for you, it's going to be right outside the doors, so then you won't have to wear your masks. And just to remind you, we are recommending that you do wear your mask still indoors, cover your nose and your mouth, so that we can protect everybody inside the congregation. And with that, Rory, what do you want to share?
Good morning, everyone. So glad to be back this morning. I just want to remind you that no matter who you are, where you are, we don't care. As long as you're here, you're our family, whether it's online or here. Just remember, it doesn't matter your faith, what you believe in, your sex, where you live. All that matters is we are all one family. That's why I'm here.
So I'm going to open us with a prayer, and this is coming from this beautiful little pamphlet, The Power of Prayer, produced by Unity Village. You're welcome to pick one of those up in the lobby, but if I may ask you to find that wonderful, comfortable spot in your chair, and I invite you to close those outer eyes. November is a time of giving thanks. And in this beautiful power of prayer, we're going to speak the words of abundance by Reverend Peggy, Conkle. I turn within to remind myself that I am one in spirit, with Source and the one true Creator. I have all that I need. I know that resources are always available to me to create what feeds my passion for a magnificent, loving life. As I open to the awareness of divine energy and wisdom in me, I find myself blessed by grace and innovative ways to use what is already at my disposal. I listen to guidance given to me in the form of divine ideas to bring forth beauty and success in my life. I now release any thought of lack or limitation. I recognize that as I am willing to give, I have already received. I affirm that I have already received. We say thank you for the glory of this abundant universe and the myriad of ways it supports all of my heart's desires. All of my heart's desires. I am abundant. I am whole, I am love, I am life. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And will you lead us in our mission statement?
Absolutely. If everyone would stand, if you feel comfortable standing, we're going to do the mission statement, and then we're going to do our opening song with Giles, okay? Together, to advance well-being by sharing compassion and inclusiveness with integrity and spirituality. Amen?
Amen.
All right, Giles, take it away.
All right, so this is going to be group time, because I want you to help me sing this song. It's a very simple song. Some of you probably already know it. Maybe you all already know it. Love is leading me on. Love is leading me on. Trouble's fade and my heart is strong. And love is leading me on. Sing it with me. Love is leading me on. Trouble fades and my heart is strong, and love is leading me on. When my day feels like an empty cup, love is leading me on. Open up and let love come fill me up, and love is leading me on. I said love is leading me on. Love is leading me on. Trouble fades and my heart is strong, and love is leading me on. You know I feel my sorrow and I know my fears, but love is leading me on. And I know that God is love and right here, and love is leading me on. I said love is leading me on. Love is leading me on. Trouble fades and my heart is strong, and love is leading me on. When I worry, what will they think of me? Well, love is leading me on. You know, Spirit says they'll see what they need to see, and love is leading me on. I said love is leading me on. Love is leading me on. Trouble fades and my heart is strong, and love is leading me on. I said love is leading me on. Love is leading me on. Trouble fades and my heart is strong, and love is leading me on. You know love is leading me on. I said love is leading me on.
Wow, we're going to have to raise the price of admission after that one. Woo! I was here early when he was rehearsing, and it was like, hurry up. He's got to sing. He's got to sing. Okay, folks, here's the UPH news for this Sunday, November 21st. Okay, the flowers here were done by Linda Potts, and they've already been spoken for. We're looking for a few good operators for our AV team. Rob still needs help. We have some new equipment that's going to be coming up here, new lights and stuff, and we need people to learn that. And Rob will be training that if you decide to do it. Please see him. We really need help in that department. Miss Bridget is looking for a couple teachers for our youth education. Your commitment would only be 1 day a month, so if you will see her, that would be great. Our flower ministry is still looking for someone who loves to give their generosity to the community through color. Once a month commitment, training is provided, and you can see Miss Judith Overcash for that. If you're new here to Unity of Palm Harbor, we invite you to sign our register, which is out by the front door. And please take one of our welcome packets out there, one of our blue welcome packets. We would love to add you to our newsletter email list to keep you informed of all the wonderful things that are happening here at UPH, and there is a lot coming up. It's decorating time, so please start bringing your ornaments in starting next week. This beautiful tree here that we put up this week is, I made the theme for the tree this year, and I call it Our Family Christmas. Okay, support our children. They have made these beautiful handmade ornaments. They've been working really hard at this. This wood actually came from our property here. I cut slices out so they can make ornaments, so you know this has been blessed by our property. And those are for sale in the bookstore. There's different prices on them. All the funds for that is going to go to our youth ministry, okay? Let me see. Reverend Linda Martella Whitsett, and I got it right, is available after service today to sign her books. She'll be right out front. Now, as Reverend Tracey already told you, I'm going to be Vanna. One book is This Life is Yours, and Divine Audacity. Thank you. And you all know I've been reading this one, How to Pray Without Talking to God. So those will all be available out front for us. Our church office will be closed November 24th through the 26th for Thanksgiving, but you're welcome to come on the grounds and use any of the prayer gardens or just sit and meditate. It's beautiful out here. I love coming out here and meditate before doing work during the week time. Also, do you know our holiday schedule? Well, we got a lot coming up. We have these out front. We got one addition to put on it, but this is all of our different things that are coming up. And we'll have these up in the lobby for you if you'd like to pick one up so you know what's going on and make sure that you're here with us. And by popular demand from our children, we got in our usable water bottles. And, you know, the kids are all about no plastic, no plastic, no plastic. And this was their endeavor. So we got the glasses. They're on sale in the bookstore for us. And we are converting our water fountain to an easier spigot to fill these up. So please help support that. Yes?
Do the proceeds from these cups go to the youth ministry or to the church in general?
To the church in general, yes. But it was their idea, that's for sure. She was asking about the proceeds for the water bottle, and that goes to the church fund. Okay. Oh, it says here, happy birthday fee. So happy birthday fee. And it's Judith Overcash week, so she's the prayer chaplain today. And we welcome the prayer chaplains who have joined us from other churches, and she'll be up front here for prayer after service. And at this time, I'd like to invite Judith up to read the daily word for us.
How many of you read your daily word this morning already? I don't see a great show of hands. I see two. Well, that's okay, because I didn't pick today's daily word, so you won't be disappointed. You'll be very thrilled, because last week there was a daily word reading, Pray for Others, and that's what we were working on yesterday, all day long, about how we go about praying for others and with others. So take this in, because we're all part of the prayer network here. Whether you're a prayer chaplain or you're just enjoying the vibrant feeling of this church, you're a prayer partner. So relax into these words. I am a radiant light as I pray for others. That's for you. It's for all of us. I am a radiant light as I pray for others. The sacred act of praying for others reaches far beyond me. I envision my prayers as tiny but powerful beams of light, traveling from person to person and heart to heart, illuminating minds and lighting the path of peace for everyone. With each prayer, the light of God grows stronger until it surpasses negative thoughts and negative ideas, becoming the prevalent force throughout the planet. God's light may be felt as energy for a tired body. It may be light for peace for an anxious mind, or light that rests a weary soul. The light is powerful enough to mend relationships and powerful enough to achieve peace between nations and families and friends. Today and every day, as I pray for others, I give thanks for the light of God that binds all people and all members of the family of oneness that we are part of. And from 2 Thessalonians, these words, we always pray for you, asking that our God will make you worthy of his call and will fulfill his power with every good resolve and every work of faith. I am a radiant light as I pray for others.
In silence, there's a connection. hearts and in our minds. We don't need to be too hard about it. It's always love, it's always love, always love. It's always love, it's always love, always love. Looking at you, looking at me, and somehow we think we're so far apart. But it's in our essence, we're all just the same. It's always love, it's always love, always love. It's always love, it's always love, always love. It's always love, it's always love, always love.
Friends, let's enter a time of meditation together. And I invite you to recognize love by maybe placing your hands over your heart center just for a moment, to connect with your divine love faculty and declare right here and now, I open to the power of divine love, to the unifying power of love. I open my mind to be able to perceive love, to be able to recognize love, to be able to internalize love, to see it in myself. I open my heart to the feeling tone of love, to the energy of love that is ever flowing. And you're welcome to lower your hands to your lap, but leave them open so that you can feel the flow in any way you do in your body. To note the pulse, the temperature, the radiance of love. And we recognize the source of this love is the ever-presence of it in the atmosphere around us, as well as fully formed within us. There, in other words, can be no absence of divine love, the unifying power. So I just take that in. I recognize this means that though I might at times perceive myself to be a standalone, an isolated being within the universe, the fact is that my pores are open, that my sense of having skin that borders my body is illusory in truth. That in fact I am one. Divine love is oneness. It's the I am one with all that is. This is the nature of God, love, and it is so big. It is so all-encompassing. Let me sense that right here and now and feel the nourishment of it, because if this is the truth, then I never lack love. Let me take that in and let me recognize that it's only in my human awareness that I could perceive that love could be missing. But in fact, I now claim wholeheartedly, and I'm willing to believe, I'm willing to agree that I am one with, and I now radiate the unity of divine love. I am one with, and I now radiate the unity of divine love. Let's sit in a moment of silence as we take that claim, as we come into agreement with truth. I am one with, and I now radiate the unity of divine love. I take this as my mission, as a personal sense of responsibility. I recognize that I never need to squelch my humanity in fulfillment of this calling of love, but instead, my greatest act of service in divine love is to see no other. To see no other. There is, of course, only love, only love, only unity. And I declare that that's the truth I will know in my human experience. So again, I agree to this great calling. I am one with, and I now radiate the unity of divine love. And so it is. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Mm-hmm. I'm just taking you in because it's a long while since I've been with people. And this is such a delight to be able to be in your company. I've had the good fortune of being able to provide messages and be with communities, you know, in the Zoomosphere for the last couple of years. And there's nothing that replaces community. So thank you for your agreement to be safe here in this community, wearing your mask when you're with others, and making it possible for us all to gather. And thank you, Reverend Tracey, for leading that effort, making sure that we take care of one another during this crazy time on planet Earth, right? Well, it's also a thrill for me to have been invited to share some thoughts with you this morning. And Giles and I really felt right at home when we walked in yesterday. Thanks for setting that up, and for all of you who who kind of know more, as one of my congregants in San Antonio once said, who found out more about me than she really wanted to know when she read my books. Because I use the writing as a way of teaching, right? And so personal experience that can illustrate principles and how we might live principles, you know, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to speak into that, you know? So today I want to just tell you something. Giles and I relocated. We are going to spend our very first winter in Florida. Hooray! That we've been longing for that for years. Look, we paid our dues in the Midwest, I will tell you that. And you know, it's just such a joy. So it was about 5 months ago now when we relocated. We're in Bradenton, Florida. And one of the things we do, you know, when you buy a new house and there's new furniture required, right? We did the thing that, you know, that isn't easy. We went to IKEA. You know, just saying the word, I think my blood pressure goes a little wonky. If you're like me, man, it's a maze, first of all, and then you get to all the parts and the gajillion parts to put something together. Freaks me out every time. And we haven't done that much of it. But we successfully purchased a sofa bed there in anticipation of family visits. We actually put it together ourselves, but here's the experience of putting a piece of furniture together is, you know, you follow this thick booklet of instructions, you know, and when we got to page 14 or 15, we're realizing, you know, this piece is not fitting where the little picture on the booklet says it should go. And so what has happened here? And so then we start undoing. How many of you have undid? You know, pull that, undo that screw, take that part. And what we discovered is we had put one piece on upside down. So when you put a piece on upside down and you proceed, you are never going to get the sofa bed that's on the cover. You're never going to get to that. You know what I'm saying, right? So we discovered it was upside down, and of course we corrected it and ended up feeling very proud of ourselves with a functional pull-out sofa bed. You know, and it reminded me of when I was traveling pre-pandemic and I got to a beach town, because that's always a preference for me, and I had packed a brand new razor, you know, a little disposable razor with the head on it. I'd packed it in my bags, and when I got to the hotel, I went to use it. And so I lathered up, and I you know, maybe more information than you want to know, but, you know, I started shaving my legs. And as I do, I don't know about you sisters, but I looked down to make sure that I got everything. Well, the hair was still on my legs, and no hair was on the razor. And I'm like, wait a minute, something's wrong with this razor. And so I know what I'll do. I'll try it on the other leg. Like, that's smart. That's smart. But, you know, I'm game, so it didn't work any better there, right? So I ended up cleaning up, getting a new razor from the front desk, and then when I was drying my leg and it got to my toes, I had one toe that was throbbing. It just was hurting. So I stopped. In the pause, I remembered the head of that razor had fallen off, and I had put it back on. Perhaps I had put it on upside down. How many of you were ahead of me on that? Upside down, because maybe you've done it a time or two yourself. So it got me to thinking, because, you know, I'm a metaphysician. It got me thinking, you know, what about all those things that I think are wrong, right, or functional? You know, when I think something's upside down, maybe it's not. Maybe it's my thinking that is upside down. Maybe that's the issue. And it set me on a course that when my daughter Alicia and I wrote This Life Is Yours, we were thinking about the upside down thinking that leads us to not recognize our wholeness. You know, and we both realized that we are subject to, now Alicia's a Unity child. She was raised in Unity. I've spent most of my adulthood in Unity, but I started out in Roman Catholicism, and many of you started out in more traditional religious environments. what we started to recognize is that no matter where we were trained, that there is a pervasive upside down thought in humanity, and especially in our culture, that really needs to be addressed. And here's what it is. This is the message that says, I'm only human. And what does it mean to be human in our culture? It means that we are broken, that we are fallen. Now, you don't believe that. I know you're sitting in a Unity Church. I don't believe that. But the world around us has that as the predominant theme. I mean, Giles and I were sitting we wanted to sit outside at Starbucks this morning. We had some time, and we were so excited because the weather was warm enough. We went to sit outside, and there is a loudspeaker right across the street with an outdoor church service going on. Well, let's just say that was not our message. So we came over here and sat in the gardens instead. So the point is that there's a prevalence of this message that something is fundamentally missing, wrong, and broken about humanity. You hear it, right? You hear it in the messaging around our world. And it has been going on for a very long time, this message. Every single one of us is subject to this psychologically, unawares. Unawares, we get this message. We hear it on the radio. It's in our systems. Have you noticed? I mean, Alicia and I started looking at our systems. Of course, it's in religion, you know, and of course, it's in our medical field as well. Think about it. What's your physician's main intent? To find out what's wrong. This is Western medicine. Now, it's not the case in every culture. Eastern medicine, their job is to keep you well. But in the Western medicine, we've said, well, we've got to find something wrong and fix it. Upside down thinking. Upside down thinking. You know what I'm saying now? You're getting with me on that. Then our penal system, look, don't get started, because we just had we've had some, you know, lots of images in these last couple of years that tell us there's an upside down, there's a mentality of brokenness. That, you know, there's a culture, there's an indigenous culture, I can't remember where it is, but here's what happens when somebody commits a crime or does something that is offensive in their culture. They gather the community together and they place that person in the midst of them, and they remind them of their true nature. They tell them of the good in them. They tell them what they really came here for and what the community needs of them. We need you to step up and to be that person. And they give them assignments to be able to, you know, do good in their community. They don't lock them away. They don't condemn them. They don't kill them. They teach them of what's inside of them. They teach them what could happen in a community like that. What could happen in a country like that for us? See, to me, I'm seeing all kinds of upside down that, look, none of us is personally responsible for it being that way. It's a collective consciousness that has led us to this kind of way of being, to see predominantly something missing, wrong, or broken about us. And then this translates personally to us, because how many times have you said, I know way too many times, I say to myself, what's wrong with you, Linda? You know, what's the matter with you? And looking for evidence to back up this thought that something is wrong. You know, looking in the mirror, not liking what I see. You know, stuff like that. It's been patterned in us as well by the culture. Do you see that? It's systemic. This upside down understanding of ourselves is systemic, but we are not consigned to have to live it out. This is why we're in a unity community, because we're conscious beings. We profess to be, don't we? We profess to be conscious and learning about the truth of our being. We're here to learn that we are divine. And so yes, we're 100% human, yes, but turning that around, turning the upside down thought around is, I'm also 100% divine. And that means the human of me, this story of brokenness, which is a religious theme, right? You know, what kind of God do we suppose, or do we propose? A God that needs us to be weak so God can be strong? Is that a God that needs this from humans? You see, this is a message. I actually heard it on a radio once, this song that, you know, brokenness is what I long for. Brokenness is what you need from me, God. Upside down. Are you with me? Yes. Upside down. And so, of course, we need to talk about the turning this on its head and the coming into a greater awareness. Well, that's what the unity message is all about. And that, in fact, is what we're here to learn, to study, and to then practice how to do that, how to turn that insidious message on its head and to find the truth of being. You know, and it takes community to do that, doesn't it? I mean, this is why we gather, because when we study together, I don't know about you, but the first time I really started to get the truth about me was when I saw it in you. You know, it's so easy to see the Christ in you. It's so easy to see that, you know, no matter what you're presenting in any moment, that I see the light that you are. I see that about you, and I see that you're perfect just as you are. That's what wholeness means, by the way. Wholeness and perfect and complete are all the same meaning. So when we talk about, you know, the scripture verse that says, be there then perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect, it doesn't mean flawless. Perfect does not mean flawless. It means be the fullness of what you are. It means everything you need is within you. Do you believe that? Everything I need for a successful living is within me. That's right side up. That's the 100% divine. And that divine nature of us can seem very elusive, right? When I'm being 100% human, man, my divine's kind of taking a picnic, right? It's out on hiatus, it feels like, right? Because I don't see it. All I see is what seems to be wrong with me, right? What's going on with me? My feelings, my experiences, the unwanted things of my conditions, right? And it's very hard then. And so it takes some skill development. It takes some practices in order to begin to veer toward, as Charles Fillmore called it, pivot. It's the pivotal nature of our mind. We can pivot from 100% human to 100% divine. Spiritually, we can pivot. And that pivot just takes practice. And it takes years of practice, just like building a meditation practice. And meditation's one of the pathways, isn't it? It's one of the practices that will get us there to our 100% divine nature. To be able to find that, in fact, we cannot be weak or helpless in any situation, even though this thing that's happening feels scary, right? Our daughter, Alicia, wrote so much. Her writing in This Life Is Yours, our book, was so profound to me as a woman who raised her along with her dad. You know, I had some surprises when we were writing this book. She's 39 years old now. She'll be 39 next month. We had some healing to do. This book is all about healing the sense of ourselves as only human and therefore broken, right? That's what this whole message is about. It's about discovering that no matter what we're experiencing or have experienced in our past, that we are whole today. And how do we allow that wholeness that we are to heal our hearts of the things that we suffered, right? Of the things that the residual effects of experience that have stayed with us. How do we do that? Well, and so she wrote, I think, poignantly about sexual abuse at a young age that we were not aware of. So here we are writing this book, and I'm having these my daughter's revealing to me some of her experience that was so painful. And so it set me into a whole new state of having to heal my own heart, because what's a parent's first responsibility is to keep your kids safe, you know? And we come to a certain point in life, we realize that's an illusion. There's no possible way we can actually do that. But it is the mandate, we're told, right? And so the sorrow that comes on the heels of some kind of revelation like that. And Alicia's wrote brilliantly about the practices that she has done in her life to get to healing, you know? So that's just one example of what we know we must do is be able to start to recognize more and more our divinity, right? That divine of us that is fully capable, fully able. The 12 powers are our abilities. And that's what you find in Divine Audacity, by the way. I'm not trying to do just a commercial here. This is really content. The content of that is directly to support us in coming to know our abilities, our divine abilities, by which we then heal the circumstances of our own life. That we're not ever powerless in that. And if we take away no other message, that's the message that I would want for you. You know, this idea of wholeness is a very challenging principle, because how do I know I'm whole when something seems to be missing, wrong, or broken in my life? You see, that is the challenge. How do I get to healing of that? Well, that's where the practice of prayer and meditation really trip the trigger of that healing process and allow the pivot. But it's a conscious choice, is it not? It's a conscious choice to go there, to actually engage in practice. And I will tell you that we are recommending a 15-minute period of practice every single day when you're going through a period of healing. Why? Because I know when I'm in a time of healing, it's just the circumstances themselves, whether it's an illness, whether it's a challenge in relationship, whether it's a prosperity issue, whatever the issue is, feels so big. You know, my human experience of it is that it's so big, and it feels like I feel helpless in the midst of that. And so, you know, what do I do? Well, what happens is, especially with illness, this happens when we're under medical care, is that we devote so much of our day to just doing what we need to do to follow the medical protocol, to rest, right? And our attention is on all that's going wrong. Our attention is on the problem, right? And so the only way we know to counteract that and to get to know our state of wholeness is to interrupt that cycle of thought and even the cycle of sensation, if we're experiencing a lot of physical pain, for example, or emotional pain, is to deliberately pause in all of that attention and turn our attention, pivot our minds to our wholeness, to the truth of wholeness. And how do we do that? Well, there's a gajillion practices that you could do for that, right? It doesn't have to be even a spiritual practice. It can be, you can come out here in the gardens and find just that you turn your mind deliberately to the beauty of this natural environment, or to the sound of the waterfall, or, right? You deliberately, but you focus for 15 minutes, and what happens in that period of time is phenomenal. What happens is, by interrupting the cycle of thought and emotion and sensation, physical sensation, we change our body's chemistry. And when we do that day after day after day, 15 minutes, I'm going to pause now. I'm going to stop thinking about what the doctor said. I'm going to stop thinking about how I've had to rearrange the whole house in order to, deal with this thing. I'm going to stop that, and I am going to turn my mind to something that's glorious, something that makes me feel most alive. It could be something very simple. It could be something like lighting my candle and sitting in silence for a few moments. But that deliberate pivot of my attention bears fruit over time that literally transforms our experience. For one, it transforms our thinking, because all of a sudden there's this flood of relief from being so focused on what I need to do or what the problem is. There's such a flood of relief in that, and sometimes even euphoric, euphoric sense. But over time, I literally, when we say we can heal our lives, we mean it. We mean that we can heal. And this is not about curing a condition, it's about healing. Like Myrtle Fillmore healed immediately when she got a message. She started that healing, and she, every day, sitting and talking to her body and entering into her way of practicing wholeness, she got a sense of her whole life, that her whole life is so much more than this thing. Do you see what I'm saying? It's so much more than this one thing. And let me not devote so much of my energy to this one thing. Let me put it in perspective, and let me say, I've got a grander life than that. Let me experience the fullness of life today. Let me experience well-being no matter what is going on that needs to be healed. And by that process, I begin to heal that. I begin to bring it back in the circle of my full life, my whole life. And if the external is going to change, if a relationship is going to resolve, if a condition is going to be cured, if anything is going to resolve and change, it's going to be because my whole energy is different, because I have changed. And when Wayne Dyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that's exactly what happens. But you know what? We need to practice that. It doesn't happen by magic, does it? It happens by our choice and then our commitment to that daily practice. And so my message is a message of, hopefully, that is a heartening message, that you're not stuck, and you're never broken. Nothing about you could ever be missing, wrong, or broken, for you are 100% divine. And when you think about recognizing wholeness, think about Jesus standing in a moment with another human being. That Jesus turned to his 100% divine in that moment, right? When we say the Christ, that's what we're talking about, that 100% divine. And he stood with someone who came to him saying to him, well, I'm sick, or I can't heal because, the water's over here, but I'm too weak to go get in the water, and right, all the things. But Jesus did not address all of that. Jesus didn't care what the human condition was, and he didn't label it, nor did he say, let me heal you. The one thing Jesus said over and over again is, your faith has made you well. Well, faith is my recognition of my 100% divine identity. And that's where we turn. And that bears fruit. And so I just bless you with that capacity. What Jesus said, take up your bed and walk. And he's like, stop relying on a crutch. Get on with it. Go do your part. Go do your part and heal your life. So that's the joyful message that I hope that I bring to you today, and a message of empowerment. I'm so grateful to share this Sunday with you. Thank you. Thank you.
So Giles is going to treat us to another song, and while he does that, I'm going to ask our ushers to come forward, please.
and I really want to change the world. I better start by changing me. Lay down my judgments, remove my pigeonholes. And I'm gonna set my soul free. And I really want to change the world. I'm gonna start by changing the way I see. When I can see the light in you, see your love come shining through, well then I'll start a new reality. If I can help you to see your light, will you turn around and help me? 'Cause we can make this world shine so bright. I wanna see your light shine on me. And I really want to change the world. I'm gonna do my best to truly give. When I reach out my hand and I have just one more stand, you know that's a life that I want to live. If I can help you to see your light, will you turn around and help me? We can make this world shine so bright. I want to see your light shine on me. And I really want to change the world. I better start by changing the way I see. Where I can see the light in you, see your love come shining through. Then I'll start a new reality. If I can help you to see your light, will you turn around and help me? We can make this world shine so bright. I wanna see your light shine on me. I wanna feel your love shine on me. Wanna see it, see your light.
I had no idea he could do that. Thank you, Giles. Thank you so much. And thank you, Reverend Linda. I feel this vibration in the air that says yes. Yes to all of us in here. Anything that we want to create, we have the power to do that. It is ours to claim. It is ours to affirm and stand up in. Yes? Amen. Amen. So with that, I'm going to do it just a little bit differently today. I'd like to ask you to close your outer eyes and behold these beautiful riches that are here in these bags today. See them reaching out, supplying the abundance to the universe, not only to our family here, to the operations of Unity of Palm Harbor, but beyond this, it reaches out universally, energetically, and that we know the divine purpose of each and every person's treasure from the heart, in the physical, and also the mental realms is already done, is already done. And we say, thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, that which dwells inside each one of us that is already whole, healthy, and perfect. We are complete. And we say, thank you, thank you. And so it is. I also want to share, we're going to end our service today a little bit differently. The prayer for protection, I believe, if I can get Rob to pull that up for us, is one that Reverend Linda has used a number of times. So this becomes almost like a call and response. And I love the energy. Where's Kimmin? Kimmin and I talked about this a couple months ago. And so we're going to institute this for a while and see how it feels. Sometimes when we do the prayer for protection, it becomes rote. We just say the words. So I'm going to invite you, allow me to say the first line, and then if you'll share the second line, we'll go through it that way this time, and then we'll gather for the peace song, and Ray will come back up here, and then we'll end our service. But I want to say thank you. Thank you in this time of giving thanks for everyone's physical presence, for your spiritual presence, for those online, for those in here. And what you take outside of these doors is holy and perfect and complete. So let's start this. We are here to glow as the light of God. We are the light of God. We are here to embrace as the love of God. We are the love of God. We are here to stand in truth as the power of God. We are the power of God. We can do better than that. We are the power of God. We are here to radiate as the presence of God. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and so it is. So if you'll join me and stand in the peace song.